Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you. Welcome back to another Thursday Night Live. I'm your favorite auntie, Nikki, just another brown girl in America. And of course, we have my handy dandy guys. Everybody, introduce yourself. I know y'all hate when I say that, but I like saying that sometimes.
Yeah, I definitely was like handy dandy. What am I, a notebook?
You got your boy. You got your boy
first because I'm the senior citizen. I'm Tim.
Oh, that's what it is.
And I'm just another white man in America.
You got your boy. You got your boy C-Los. The LOS means love ourselves. So it's C love ourselves. Good to see y'all again, panel.
I'm Spaces. What's good, everybody?
And I'm Scony, just another black man in America.
Slim is here. Oh my God. I cannot believe this. Look who's here.
Hey, Slim A. What's good, bro?
Oh, hey, thanks for stopping by. But we want to go ahead and get it started. Like you all know, had a lot going on. Started a little bit late, but I want to start off with, of course, I'm going to go with our cover picture. And while I am pulling that up, I want to tell everybody that we are doing a live show right here in St. Louis, Missouri, February 22nd. And it's going to be based all around love, lies, and legacy. We've taken a sledgehammer to hook up culture on the way to the road to I Do. So we're going to figure this out live. Our panelists going to come in from out of town. They going to come hang out with me. And we got some few extra guests, expert panelists, all that good stuff. So I'm just telling you, you do not want to miss this. February 22nd at Intertwine Wine Bar, 4710 Virginia, and you will get more information about that. So for my first video, I want to show y'all something. And we're going to go from here, and then I'll let you know what I think.
Can I say something real quick, Miss Nikki, while you're pulling it up?
You can't see it.
No, while you're pulling it up, can I say something real quick?
Sure.
Just remember something about life. And I know everybody on this panel is wise, but just remember, there's always somebody watching. There is always somebody watching. And you can take it to whichever degree you want to. You can take it from the standpoint of somebody's watching because they're looking for their moment to try to besmirch your character, or somebody's looking because they're checking to see if you're really about what it is that you say that you're about.
Yeah.
There's
I believe
always somebody watching.
I'm always watching, but I was excited to see Slimmy. Slimmy cool is that thing, and he loved karaoke too, so we got that in common. But
I just know it always feel like somebody watching me.
All right,
I got your Spaces, man. I hear you. I hear you, bro.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and we are going to get this started. Let's go.
I don't know. Resign or face impeachment? I don't know.
It's not about him. It's about your safety. No, he sprayed something on you. You need to go get checked.
Resign or face impeachment?
All right.
He say, hell no, I'm not going. Hell no, I'm not going.
Well, so my question is, does this look like a security breach? And the only reason I say that is because you got cameras placed on this man everywhere. Or plus we find out it was apple cider vinegar in the syringe, right? So my question is, Do we think this was a stage production?
I don't think that looks staged.
You don't think it looks staged?
No. Why would they stage that?
Why wouldn't they? It's the
You
better
say why
question.
wouldn't they? Okay.
Mhm.
So elaborate on why wouldn't they?
Well, I just highlighted a few points. So they would stage it because a lot of things are created and staged to create a narrative, to
Mm-hmm.
propaganda, and to basically do a mental psyop on the United States of America. People do that to take attention off something bigger. And right now, she's actually being investigated for fraud in Minnesota. She's dealing with the Somali illegals. So it's a whole thing behind Ilhan Omar. You have to kind of research her back, but she got a lot going on with her. And we also talking about cliques are trying to create a narrative that the other side could be violent or is after her. So that's why I say there's all kind of reasons things could be staged.
How would you know that though?
Well, that's what I'm asking. You have to watch context
Uh,
clues. Anybody that's going to run up on, so for me, you're sitting in there, you're peaceful. But anybody that's really after like gonna attack you, first of all, why would they have a syringe of apple cider vinegar and nothing toxic? Why wouldn't she? Most people, when something like that happened, they flinch. She ran towards danger and she didn't even want to go to the hospital. Now, if that was me, not knowing what was in that syringe, it could have been anything, acid, whatever. I would have been a little bit concerned.
I
But
look at
she
it like
wanted to
this.
keep going, and her words was, "We will not let them win," or whatever she said.
I, I I think she was a good leader at that time. Like no matter what, and that's how I'm looking at it. Everything you said, I agree with, but she didn't let anything stop her message that she was trying to convey to them people. So even though that man tried to whatever chemical or whatever was in the syringe or whatever it was, she let her people know, hey, I don't care if he put shit on me. I'm getting my message out and I'm standing 10 toes down. That's how I looked at it. I don't
Right.
think I don't think some people on opposite sides, because it was ops, like be fighting against each other, can get together and be like, let's stage this scenario so we can get focused off of other stuff. I never no, that stuff happened for real. I think that happened for real. That was somebody camera at different angles too.
But so here's the thing, Nikki, that gets me. You're just drinking the orange Kool-Aid. That's what he said. That's what Trump said right off the bat. I think it was staged. So now you're trying to think it's staged. Look at his history. He's a big Trump supporter from way back. Why would he stage that? He's got all kinds of history going way back on his social media that he's a Trump supporter. Now the right wing starting to put some AI videos out of him and Omar together like a week before. It's total bullshit. He's a hardcore Trumper. So why would he decide to stage that? Why would he decide to do that?
Why wouldn't they? So
Well,
this
because
my
he's a
question.
Trump supporter, Nikki.
No, I'm just going to ask you a question. I never said it was. I was just asking a question because people are saying this could be staged. So I, first of all, never said that. Second of all, we always go through this. Why, whenever we do something from this side, it's concrete. That's what it is. And like, I'm just saying your view is always, oh no, that happened. Oh, this real. Or if we're saying something wasn't true on the right, you don't want to hear that. But soon as something come out that denigrates the left, you always caping for it. Like you just never believe that they can do nothing wrong. That's how it comes.
I'm sorry, Nikki. But going back to my question, then, I mean, you posed the question like maybe it was staged. What do you think? Is it staged? I'm saying that question only comes from the fact that Trump said right off the bat, I think it was staged because he thinks she's garbage. He thinks that everybody that comes from Somalia, which he did, are garbage. He thinks they're trash. He thinks they're worthless. So that's what he says. And now you repeat it as a question, but it has some indication that you think maybe it's true, which it just isn't. You look at the guy's background, he's 100% a Trumper. So why
actually you have no possible way of getting in my brain. Trump was not the first person I heard say that, first of all. So let's get that clear. I didn't even hear that till I heard somebody say that he said it, and I went to go watch.
Yeah, but
No, neither. Hold on. Neither here nor there. When I first initially saw it, either way, whether it's if it's real, it's some BS. Yeah. Nobody has no business doing that. So let me get that out. Let me get that out. That's some BS. I don't know if it's real or not, because when I first saw, like I said, I can't say I wouldn't have squared up with him either. I mean, some people do have an initial reaction if you a fighter or you come from a certain place. I could see that too. But for me, if we talking about, and then you say AI, why is everything AI that you don't want to believe?
Well, Nikki, because I don't know if you've seen them, but you had a picture down in the right when you were playing that of those two together.
Look at you. Your butt.
Yeah, that's totally bullshit. That's
How
just
you
not
know?
a true picture.
How do you know that?
Because it's AI generated. She doesn't know.
How do you know
that?
That?
Why would it? Well, Nikki, okay, that's fine.
And, no, I'm asking a question.
So Tim, here's the thing. And we go through this, you and I, every week. I'm always impartial, because the truth of the matter is no one sitting on this panel knows whether it's fake or not. And that's a fact.
Yeah, that's my
the
thing.
Definite truth. That's the definite truth. And starting there, when we're talking about that picture, your first thought is it's AI. That could be true. That could be not true. And I'll give you a situation that can make it true and real. That could have been a picture taken at the beginning of said meeting prior to him squirting her. And that would make it a real picture, because she had no idea who he was or what he was about to do. Does that sound plausible?
He had a motive.
It's plausible, but if you read the article, it
but
says
you were there and it wasn't true, so it's not.
The article says it was taken a week ago, and here's the bottom line.
Wait, you just called it AI, and now you're saying it was taken a week again.
Well,
whether it's a week ago and real.
You didn't hear what I said, Scony. What I said was the article says it was taken a week ago.
Okay.
So,
well, if we look at that context clues, that's the same shirt she had on.
It's the same. Yeah, it's the same outfit she had on the same day.
That's right. Photoshop, AI, whatever. But Nikki, why would a guy who's got a long history of being a Trump supporter, and you can find that out?
Who said that?
Actually, Nikki,
I'm not saying it's wrong or not. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I have not looked into this man's history. All I'm asking is, do you think this was staged? What about you, Spaces?
I think this is definitely a battle of the opinions, because we just simply don't know. We can only look at context clues and base our opinions off of that.
Take a stab at it.
I got a question.
Hold on, let him finish.
When I first looked at it, I'm like, what's going on here? I don't like what happened. And then when people were talking about how he squirted something on her, I'm like, what? I didn't see that at all. But then I saw some different angles and I saw like, oh yeah, he definitely did squirt something on her. And it's weird because there's too many things that don't add up for me. Why would you squirt apple cider vinegar? Not bleach, not hydrogen peroxide, not some sort of chemical compound. Apple cider vinegar. That just didn't make sense for me. And then I saw her walk up to him and like act like she was gonna hit him. And then she walked away when she didn't hit him. Like she didn't hit him and then she walked away. If you're really about that life, that wouldn't have stopped you. The security guard grabbing him wouldn't have stopped you from hitting him. And then when she knew that, maybe she didn't know. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt a little bit. But no, I don't give her the benefit of the doubt, because I saw an angle where she reacted from being squirted from whatever he threw on her. She reacted from feeling that land on her. And I don't know about y'all, but if I'm doing some sort of press conference, if I'm doing some sort of, visualization, some sort of in-person situation, and somebody sprays something on me, I'm taking off what it is that I have on and I'm walking away. I'm not going to sit and try to be some sort of revolutionary yes, I care about the cause, I care about what's going on, but I still care about myself in the grand scheme of things. So I'm not about to just let this person squirt some unknown substance on me and then continue talking. That just doesn't make sense.
Maybe
And
she
as
was
much
trying to
as
get a
she talked,
Trump moment.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
You see
I'm
what I'm
trying to see
saying?
by showing this video, what are we trying to get from this?
That it was a staged instance to make it seem like she's some sort of justice warrior when she's not.
That don't
Like
make
what?
sense.
Honestly, if this man chose to get up and spray something on her and was backing away after he has the courage to spray it on her.
But the way Nikki came at it is to, like, I get what she was saying. Like, they created this video. If this, what I'm following, they created this video to get attention off major issues in the world, right? That's what you was conveying, Nikki.
Well, major issue, and I'm just saying I feel like a lot of the chaos
No.
actually
Hold on.
is a
I'm
major
saying,
issue. Yes, fraud issue in Minnesota, and she's actually being investigated for the fraud too. Her and a bunch of other people.
you think they actually make videos to do that?
What?
1000%. Have you heard of BLM?
Black Lives Matter?
Yes. It was a fraudulent organization from the start. So I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, but that wasn't getting attention off the main issues. Like that organization was fucked up, and they got down to the root of it.
Who got down to the root of it? Candace Owens got down to the root of it. Ain't nobody cared.
I said that. I'm just saying that, like, what you're saying is totally different what Spaces was saying. He was saying Black Lives Matter. They created that group to get attention off important issues that's happening in the world. What you saying, this video was made to get to get for people from looking at the important stuff in the world, but migrate towards that. I don't think people make videos for that.
I got you. So check this out.
Mm-hmm.
BLM was created to take to distract us from the idea of the fact that Patrice Cullors and her cronies were actually stealing the money that was being donated to Black Lives Matter. This situation was created to distract us from the idea that Ilhan Omar is attached to the fraud that's happening in Minneapolis.
Spaces, back up on what you just said, though. You're saying Black Lives Matter was created to distract from the fact that they were taking money from Black Lives Matter. That just doesn't add up.
I get what you're saying. I'm saying the focus was on the idea of Black Lives Matter. Black people are oppressed and all this stuff in America and all that stuff. Everybody donated, not everybody, a bunch of people, thousands of people donated millions of dollars and all that stuff. So we have the guise of Black Lives Matter because Black people are so oppressed in America, when in reality we're buying mansions. We have this situation of fraud where we have these expensive cars that Americans can't afford. We have this lavish life that Americans can't afford. So let's distract from the idea of us committing this fraud with this situation, make it look like I'm being attacked.
And the question is, what did they do that matters?
This one, though. Sorry. But
hold on. Before y'all start, I just won't, because Carlos don't seem to think that
Desiree. I'm sorry.
That we get propagandized. So I just want to give
you are getting propagandized.
I just want to give you, Carlos, an idea of what we dealing with when we talking about media, propaganda, narratives, and all of these good things, right? So I want to play something right quick. And I'm sure Carlos never probably seen this.
Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the qualities for Dallas journalism.
but we are concerned about the troubling, irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
False news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these stories that aren't true without checking facts first. Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
That's enough of that. I just played that so Carlos can really understand what we're dealing with out here. People, we've been psyoped for a long time. Like, people been doing this. What the heck just happened? Did he leave? He mad?
I think he pressed a button or something. Or maybe his phone died or something.
Was it something I said? No, but I just wanted to show that to Carlos because I don't.
Oh, everybody's leaving you, Nikki.
Oh, my Lord.
I'm mad at you, but I'm not hanging up.
I know you never hang up on me.
I'm angry. I'm going to. No. Switch us to the other one. This is so close.
I know.
Well, that's because
back up.
Going.
Hold on. Let me scoop.
Oh, wait a minute. There goes Tony. What happened?
Nothing. You know, when somebody leaves, I gotta leave.
Sconey ain't mad at you. He agrees with you.
I agree with everyone. That's what you don't understand, Tim.
Well, that's no place to stand, brother.
Well, here's the thing. I'm standing in the middle of things because there's not infinite, definite truth on either side. Yeah. When you don't know, how can I just? You know what? I'm gonna just side with Nikki because she's my color. She's black, so I'm gonna disagree with Tim. Or better yet, I'm gonna agree with Tim because he's a man. Like, that's not how it works for me. If I listen to two arguments and both sound reasonable, I have to say, you know what? Either of these could be true. That's my answer. Either of these could be true, unless we get more information.
I love what Nikki just played, and I think there's just a lot of truth to it. But the problem is, Fox News started that whole revolution down the disinformation news path, and they're the only ones. Nikki, you laugh, but don't you know that they had to pay a huge fine and then they had to say, we're not really news, we're just entertainment.
Okay, do you know that they're not the only ones that got sued and lost?
I do know that.
Okay, so do you know Fox News was literally created because all the other news was left wing?
Yeah, well,
I don't understand how you don't see the bias in that. And I don't understand how you don't see how you always just be like, well, they did this, they did that. If that's the case, you're doing what you're accusing me of.
All right. But listen to this. Let's go back to your video just a second, because
which one?
What you started out with the Omar getting sprayed, and that maybe it's set up. Who knows? Maybe
we don't know.
We don't know.
I will say
we don't know, but you have to answer.
I've obviously seen it. Like I said, I'm not saying because she flinched. For me, the whole run up on it, it could be real. I know some people that probably would do that. I do know. I feel like I would have went to the hospital. That's one. That's why I said I don't know. It could be real, but I definitely wouldn't have want unknown substance on me, and it definitely could be that whole fight. So it could be a multitude of things. Right, I'm not saying it's real. I mean, fake or not, it definitely could be real. And if it's real, well, he got arrested. So yay for that.
I agree with Spaces and the whole thing about how bizarre. Why would you spray vinegar on a woman like that? Like, what good does that do anybody? But if you look at his history and you talk, like his neighbors have been interviewed, he's a hardcore Trump supporter for his whole life. Like, he's a right-wing radical guy. And you're trying to say that maybe he's got some relationship in the background that he decided to do that at the last minute and stage something for her, which just doesn't. Here's the problem I have is you have to use some common sense, because truth is really hard to find these days. So if you just decide to throw your common sense away and say, yeah, this right-wing Trump supporter is going to stage something with her to prove that maybe we can take the focus off the fact that she's a Somali trash person and rip money out of the government. I mean, that's just so hard for me to believe.
So should I not believe? Well, with that being said, and it helped me spaces because I cannot remember the name. When they tried to tell us, I can't remember. Was it the guy who shot the president or Troy when they was trying to say he was right wing? He was the media tried to push that narrative initially out, saying that was a right wing person. It was something that happened last year. When they come to
all you got to do is look at
his
social media.
What?
His neighbors have been interviewed. His social media's
I'm just saying, right? I understand that, but if we listening to all these news outlets, they gonna say the same thing. They gonna say this person was interviewed, that person was interviewed. Oh, his friend from 5th grade said this. So
hold up, Nikki. See, in the name of the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, who specialize in spying and gathering of information. You mean to tell me, Tim, that it is not plausible that they can literally have a long list of basically people that who are basically introverts, people that don't have friends, don't have people that they grew up with because they're from a small town. They moved to big cities and they were very recluse. And they have a list of these types of people, right? And they can insert any one of these people into any of these situations and basically create a Facebook profile, create all types of social media profiles to make any sort of narrative that they want to create for this person that technically just doesn't exist, because there's no real people like you and I that can honestly say he's my coworker.
There are those, don't he? He's got neighbors that have talked about him. He's got some coworkers that have talked about him. There are real people that talk about him. So what you're trying to say is we're living in a world where you can't believe your own eyes or your own ears, and it's just scary. Then it's just scary. Then it's just scary.
I absolutely.
That's why.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, then we just given up to.
No, it's not about giving up.
Yeah, you're giving up. That's fine.
I'm not
giving
up. I'm not giving
let your common
in.
sense go out the window.
I'm not giving in. You're giving in. You say I'm giving up. I say you're giving in. You buy whatever whoever they are, you buy what they sell.
I use my common sense, Scony.
So do you think because I'm almost positive I might have heard you even say that Trump staged his shooting.
Right.
Who said that?
You never said that?
No.
No, I'm saying, I'm asking, do you feel like that was real or fake? Because there was a lot of people saying that was fake.
Well, you got to believe maybe it was fake, right? Because you'd believe anything.
I'm asking you. I said, I believe it was real.
I believe it's hard to believe how it was faked. I can't get my head around how that could have been faked.
You talk about.
I can't get my head around how his ear was 100% better a couple of weeks later. It's just really hard to. I can't justify, so I don't know on that one. But I'm not saying 100% either way because his ear never had any damage to it.
But in this case, you can because it fits your narrative.
Well, because I'm using my common goddamn sense.
Well, if that's the case,
So here's the thing, Nikki. I'm not saying that was faked because I'm trying to figure out how you would fake that. It would be so hard to fake that shooting. A man got killed. I mean, there was.
I don't think it's shooting real bullets. I'm just saying because.
But how is it possible that his ear?
How we gonna believe? How we?
So what man got killed?
The man standing behind Trump. The man that was sitting behind Trump.
We're talking about the Trump assassination attempt. So no, Nikki, I don't know. I mean, I'm not.
And
saying
I don't think it's far-fetched from his.
And see, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think that was out of line when people of that money. If it took off a piece of his ear, first of all, what he said, and he got money. Like people with money can get stuff fixed, a new ear or whatever he want to do. I'm just saying
because he never got shot. Maybe because the guy behind him never got shot either. But because they can sell that story, saying a guy got shot. Where was the big funeral? Where was the big funeral for that guy?
Why would we see his funeral?
I know.
Well, Stoney, I get what you're saying. It scares me though. You're saying anything could be set up. Like maybe
Absolutely.
Trump's not even the president of the United States. Maybe Nikki is, and she's just wearing some kind of a phony mask.
You want to
Maybe.
you want
Who
to
knows?
default to
Prove me
you want to
different.
default you want to jump
Prove
off
me
the
different.
cliff to prove your point. Okay.
Let me tell you why I think it's fake. The number one reason for me as to why I think it's fake is because in any situation, I cannot imagine a person getting an unknown substance sprayed on them and them not freaking out about not knowing what it is. That's why I think it's fake.
So here's the thing. She came from a war-torn country. She's a hard-ass woman. And I love the way that she squared up with that guy, and she's not going to give into that shit. But you guys are looking at that as that's proof that maybe it's fake because no woman would go after him.
Well, no, not that part. I'm not looking at her about the run up as that fake. I thought that made it real. Honestly, to me, that part made it real. That now, the whole run up, like I could see myself.
Listen. Let me ask each one of you guys right now, real quick. I'm sorry. I'm gonna ask this and I'll be done.
You go ahead. Y'all good.
Each one of you, if we are face to face and I spit in your face, are you gonna be automatically run up to me and try to fight me, or are you gonna be like,
well, as a man, I might fight because I know the substance.
but I'm saying that there's gonna be a moment where you be like, you're gonna take 2, 3, 4 seconds to be like, did he just spit on me? What is this? You're gonna take that time.
Not 2, 3, 4, maybe the one. Maybe the one.
I don't know. We talking about spit spaces.
Yeah.
I feel like that's an automatic.
Yeah, you know the substance. It's like you really did that. Boom. That's almost like 1 and 2.
Yeah, it's almost like you just fucking spit on me.
Foreign, but back to foreign substance again. I worked around acid. I know it's agents, it's chemicals that can touch your skin and have a delayed reaction and some with instant reaction. So again, you're gonna want to get out of that and figure out what it is.
That's my point.
But not for Tim. Tim don't believe that. Tim like, hey, she's from a badass country. They ain't scared of chemicals.
Even though she's been in America
one thing I'm not positive about this, guys, but I don't think it hit her in the face. I think it got on her sweater.
It didn't.
I didn't notice it hit her in the face. And so she didn't have any like real pain or any like, maybe if it got in her eyes or if it got like splashed her face, that would be one thing. But I think she had a natural reaction. I think it was a powerful woman reaction to go after the guy. Then the security grabbed him. She backed off. You know, if she would have hit him then, she would have been in big trouble. But
I don't think so.
I think it's funny that you guys would use her strong reaction as something saying it's got to be fake because no woman could be that powerful.
It has nothing to do with her being a woman. It has to do with her being
no person.
It's just a simple fact. If somebody squirts or sprays or if an unknown substance comes into contact with your body, you're going to have a reaction to that, period. You're not going to just completely ignore it. And Ilhan Omar has been in America more than half of her life. She moved to America. She came to America when she was 17. And in 2000, it's 26. She's roughly 43. She ain't been in that war-torn country for 26 years.
But she was forged there, Spaces.
She's been in America for longer than she's been in Somalia.
But you understand what I'm saying? That's where she got her guts from, was her growing up. You don't think you learn a lot by the time you're 17? But plus, backing up to your point, then Spaces, if you think it was set up, tell me about my point. The guy's a proven Trumper for his whole life, you know, and maybe you think that's wrong. Maybe you think like Sconey is that CIA can plant all that stuff and make fake neighbors and all that. But I'm telling you, he's a Trumper. So if he's a Trumper, how's that possible?
And okay, I'm, as much as if you can imagine, I'm aiming to remove political affiliations with this. And Desiree's comment, Ms. Nikki, if you can highlight it, She said, "I've been in the crowd when the presidential candidate is there, and security is so tight. How did that man just sit on the roof and no one noticed? They have drones, snipers, and rooftops for miles." Now, check this out. If your security, which Ilhan Omar had, if your security if they have the perception that there's a threat to your security, they remove you. Period. They don't sit there and have conversations with you and say, "Oh, just give me 10 more minutes. Just give me." No, you hired me. My job is to make sure that you're safe. This unknown substance is on your body. This person is a threat to you. I'm going to give you 10 more minutes to talk. No. What?
Spaces. So the president being shot and a guy on a roof is way different than somebody having some liquid in a little vial in his coat pocket and can walk up on her. And her security is a world different than his.
So,
I don't know.
Tim, Tim,
you know,
let's be honest on this one, because Space is making a point, and I'm gonna push his point a little bit forward. So the guy that sprayed her, he had time. First of all, her security should have been on point. That when that man stood to his feet, that's red flag number one. That's breach number one. Being in the front, standing to his feet, he got 2-3 squirts and 5-6 steps before anybody approached him. Does that seem odd, or that's normal?
I'll say this: maybe her security screwed up, and I could have used a stronger word, but that doesn't mean it was set up. I mean,
just a question.
Trump's security certainly screwed up. Are you saying that was set up?
Hey, that's my point, Tim. I don't know, left or right. I can make. I was a law student, and I can make an argument either way.
Well, argue
in
this.
Any situation, I can argue
Tony.
anything either way. And one thing I won't do is what Tim does and say, "I know that it is. I know that it ain't."
Well,
that's
Sconey,
insane.
argue this then. Well,
Talk
so if you don't know anything, if you don't put your feet anywhere, then but argue this. If it's true, and please believe me, it is, and maybe you think the CIA planted all this information, and
I don't.
We don't know up from down or left from right, but he is a proven Trump supporter for years. Why would he stage that? If he is, and believe me, he is, so you're saying we don't know that,
Tim? Let me tell you something.
People do a lot of stuff for money.
Tim, there are forces in this world that you and I, Nikki, Spaces, just aren't important enough for these things to be prevalent in our lives. But here's the thing: if you ever got on the radars of said people, Tim, they can make you get on this internet and say anything they need you to, and you'll do it. That's what I do know. Now we want to talk some facts. Those are the facts.
Well, that's the thing about it, Tim. It is when it's like once you know certain things, you can't unknow it, you can't unsee it, and it is scary. But that's why voices like ours are important. Whether we know, we discuss it, but we have the right, and thank God, the freedom to discuss these things and look at it from all angles, use common sense, but we have to take, especially with certain situations, we got to learn to take our biases out of it. I think, and I'm guilty of it too. I think everybody can be guilty of that sometimes, but
I'm definitely guilty of it, Nikki, and I'll be the first to admit it. I mean, I've lived a long life, and I'm biased. I got my own opinions, but here's the thing: I'm afraid is happening in this world is you take your common sense out of it. People see something and they just don't believe it. They can't use their common sense. I mean, there's common sense still, but there isn't. So I'll give up on it.
I think that's pretty much the opposite, and that's where the confusion with people coming from. That people are trying to use their common sense and their own thinking brain, but everybody's so used to the narratives, the media, the left, the right, the this, the that, telling us what to think, how to feel, blah, blah, blah. So now that people opening their mouth, having these discussions and trying to use common sense, I think that's what's confusing everybody. People don't really want to hear the truth. They like pretty little lies.
Well, there is no truth anymore. And I think that's what Sconey's saying.
Well, there is a truth.
That's not what I'm saying. You don't know
my
words every time. Every time, because I'm gonna tell you something, Tim.
Something. I'm sorry.
There's AI videos. Spaces and Nikki know what I'm talking about. Probably anybody, a lot of other people watching this video. They are aware that there's video. I mean AI capable of making you kiss another man. And if somebody showed your wife a video like that, would she use her common sense and say, that's AI? Or would she come to you and say, what in the is this?
Can I answer that?
Absolutely.
She'd use her common sense and know that I'm not gay and figure it's AI.
Or do she know?
Well, she does know. That's what I'm saying.
She would say your wife knows that.
Stoney,
what I don't believe is
Stoney.
that she wouldn't choose to believe her eyes.
Stoney,
as you do, because that's what you're doing. You're using your common sense. Because this is what debunks your statement, brother. You said that in this Ilhan Omar situation, you're using your eyes. You ain't using your common sense because you don't know the lady personally. The way you say your wife knows you. Or am I wrong?
I'm using my common sense because I understand the man's a Trumper, and I think it's pretty well proved. You're saying the CIA
he's your
could
friend,
take all
and you've known him so long,
please.
as your wife has known you. That's how you can prove he's a Trumper, because you guys are so close, like your wife and yourself, right?
Are you done?
Absolutely. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
So an AI video of me kissing a man isn't going to throw my wife's common sense of knowing me and being married to me for 50 years out the window. It might alarm her a little bit, but she wouldn't come to me saying, what the fuck? She'd come to me and say, who in the heck is perpetrating this shit? Because she knows I'm not gay. She knows I'm not. But right. you're saying you see an AI video and you throw your common sense away.
But what if it was a woman?
No, I'm saying you do.
Change it to if it was a woman.
Not me, you do. Because if you see, if all of this Ilhan Omar is AI generated in any way to push the narrative in your direction, you chew it up.
Nikki,
you chew it up. You
Nikki,
chew
your point's
it to
a lot
be
closer
fat.
to the truth, Nikki.
Huh?
Your point's hits a lot closer to home, Nikki. If it's a
woman,
I
was gonna say so.
If it's a woman, and it's
if it was a woman, video, do you think that she would just initially believe it was AI?
Probably, I'd have a harder time with that one.
But it's not true though, and it's not real.
And it's not real.
And she's using her common sense.
I think
No, I get that one.
As the phrase goes, people say common sense isn't common. I say common sense is subjective. For instance, if and just go with me with this analogy. Oh my God, what's the guy in New York? Zohran Mamdani?
Yeah, the mayor.
Yeah, Zohran Mamdani, right? He's pushing the idea of oh my goodness, let's just say free public transportation, right?
Yes.
Rent freezes. That's what I was going to say. Rent freezes, right?
Well, both.
Now there's two. Yes, facts. But I like the rent freeze because it works a little better. There's two sides of common sense to that, right? On the one hand, if you're a person that's renting an apartment, you hear rent freeze. Common sense will tell you, yes, rent freeze. I don't want my rent to go up by any means. I don't care if it's $1, $5, $10, $100, whatever. I don't care. But on the other side, common sense would tell the property owner to say, well, I'm not for rent freezes because I want my money, especially if it means that you're going to increase my property taxes. Common sense isn't common. Common sense is subjective. And that's what I say.
Common sense would mean when you preach rent freeze, if you actually want all the people to vote for you, as in the landlords and the renters, you would preach rent freeze, tax freeze, all freeze. Because if you don't, it's lopsided.
And in the case of Ilhan Omar, it's like common sense in this case, to me, maybe I'm a little different, but common sense, if you're trying to make MAGA and Trump supporters look to be the bad guy, we're going to hire or get somebody who has a history of MAGA support, Trump support, to air quotes attack Ilhan Omar so she can look like some sort of martyr, so she can look like some sort of how do I say it? Some sort of warrior to make her look good. So the common sense is subjective, is all I got to say.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a real big. I'm sorry, Nikki. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well,
don't say what you're gonna say.
It's one of my hardest. It's one of my hardest things these days. Is there seems no place for truth anymore because AI, because we've got a president who's been the biggest liar in the history of presidents. And I'm sorry to pick on him, but in general, there's so much untruth out there that it's hard to know where to land. And so everybody decides to land on their bias and their opinion. And I'll admit I'm guilty of it, but I try and then temper that with some common sense.
So when we said, you said he lied more than any president.
Well, it's like 1,000 times more than any president.
How?
Explain that.
What? Everything he says is every time he says that he won the 2020 election by a landslide and won every swing state by a landslide, and he still says it almost every day. That's a provable lie. He knows it's a lie. He's admitted it's a lie.
No, he feel like,
and yet he still says it almost every time he opens his mouth.
No, you said he lied way more than any of the 47 presidents that we done had ever.
So I'm going to give Sconey this benefit of the doubt. I don't know that for a fact. It's my feeling.
No,
it's how it occurs to me.
You explained
it's how it occurs to me.
You explained it all, Tim. Like you said, you admitted that you land on your bias majority of the time. So,
and you do too, Sconey.
In your opinion. But because see, I don't understand how I can land on my bias if I never choose a side. How does that work?
It's only human to land on your bias.
I mean, I get you with that, but I'm saying I'm an unbiased person. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm neither. I'm not even an independent. I listen to everyone and I choose what I choose based on what I hear. And that's just my opinion. That would be my opinion, but it's not about bias. I'm not biased. I don't love Trump so much.
You don't have to be political to be biased.
Huh?
You don't have to be political to be biased.
Well, you have to choose a side. You have to listen. If I choose my daughter over another kid in a situation, the bias is that's my kid. So where's my bias? We're talking politics right now. So where's my bias in the political? You choose a side. You're a liberal. You're a admitted liberal. I'm not an admitted Republican.
I'll give you that. But
that's what I'm saying. So where does my bias come from? I don't protect Trump. I'm not a Trump defender. I'm the devil's advocate, if you will. Since you choose him to be a devil, because that's the perfect title. I'm a devil's advocate. When somebody says something about Trump, I present an argument that can debunk said argument. That's it. And I don't say that it's fact. Because again, in law, you don't have to prove innocent. You have to prove doubt.
Well, I hear all that, Sconey, and I appreciate it. Honestly, I do. And I'm going to say, to have a powerful place, you need to have some firm footing. And you're kind of saying, I don't have any firm, it's like, I don't need to be a hard left-wing liberal, and I am. But if you're not standing for something, if you don't have your feet in the ground, then what's it all about? I think you need to stand up for what you believe is right.
Well, maybe that's, and I'm just asking Sconey, let me know. So what I'm getting from Sconey is not that he don't have a belief. It's just they different depending on what we're talking about. So he might say the liberal or the Democrats or whatever, they might present some, and he might like, hey, I can agree with that. Ooh, I can rock with that. I'll roll with that.
I give you my truth. Here it is. So I look at like the presidential candidates. I look at presidential candidates just like a football game. The Super Bowl is coming up, right? I'm from Chicago. My bias is Bears, right? They're not in it. They're not in it. So with that being said, I don't care if Seattle wins. I don't care if LA wins, right? I mean the Patriots win, right? But like Tim, I'll pick one. But what I'm not gonna do is put any of my hard-earned money, my heart, my soul, my cares into that game. And whoever wins, if it's who I chose, so be it. If not, so be it. And that's how I felt. If I voted for Trump, if he'd have lost, I wouldn't be out here not one day of my life complaining about whatever Kamala Harris does or sitting back saying, see, I told y'all you shouldn't have voted for, that's what I'm saying. But Trump won. So I did put my footing there, but I didn't put my footing there as a Republican. I chose him because I felt he was the better candidate.
I'll finalize my point with this. I think in this case, Ilhan and all of what she does in politics is just a Somalian Patrice Cullors, whom is the leader of Black Lives Matter, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's been caught plenty of times saying that her interest is not America. America will do what she say, and that she is there for Somalians. She don't care nothing about America. It's on video, Tim. I'm sorry, it's not AI. She said it for years. She don't care nothing about this.
Sometime, because I don't believe
I can find it right now because I did a video on it. And then we're gonna go to the next topic. Actually, we reacted to that, didn't we? I think we did it a couple of weeks ago. Hold on.
Maybe I was out on leave.
Oh my God, Tim, you need a beer.
No, I got plenty.
I love y'all.
Yeah, great conversation, y'all.
As always. I don't like talking to people that agree with me.
Yeah, it gets very mundane. It gets very mundane. What else you got for us, Miss Nikki?
I got something for you, but he want to hear this.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta make sure no music. Okay. Make sure ain't no music. I done got caught up a few times with those little music intros.
Yeah, got hit with the
Hey.
Kirk Franklin with Drewski.
I got caught with that. I had to take it out. I had to go back and take it out. And now they trying to get me on my intro music that they said I could use. So I don't even understand that, but hold on.
Dad Somali ah.
We have to read it, Tim.
Dad
not talking to us.
Waa laga yaabaa meelaha qaarkood inaan isku xagxagano, laakiin haddii runtii ay imaato waxaan nahay dad isku tashto, dad walaalo ah, dad dhiig lah, dad isku og inay Soomaali yihiin, inay Muslim yihiin, oo iyagana isku hiiliya, dadka walaalahoodna u hiiliya. Marka daraad markii ayaan dhexdaas markii aan maqalnay in qaar Soomaali ah ama Soomaali sheegato in Ethiopia ay la galeen ما بقى كان محمود نور هذا أنا كصومالي أيه دولة أمريكا محيك خبنا يسار جواب كذا وحي
There we go right there.
dad badan ay soo wacay oo waxay leeyihiin Ilhan dowladda Mareykanka in aan la hadashid waaye dowladda Mareykanka maxay ka qabanaysaa jawaabteedu waxay ahayd dowladda Mareykanka waxay ka qabanaysaa wixii annaga aan dhahno dowladda Mareykanka.
So I'm gonna pause that for that little phrase first. My answer to the Somalis was that the U.S. government will only do what Somalians in the U.S. tell them to do. And she goes on. They will do what we want and nothing else. They must follow our orders, and that is how we will safeguard the interests of Somalia. Ilhan don't care nothing about you, Tim, or us, or none of that.
And the thing about it, Tim, like stuff like that, I don't care. Because
I don't feel like foreigners
if I was Somalian,
no more, honestly.
I would agree with it because it fits my interests, right? But even though I'm not Somalian, I don't live in Minnesota. Because the way I look at the United States as the way I look at Africa, well, the way Africa is a continent of countries, right? I look at the United States as a continent versus a country, and every state is a country. because that's why I left Illinois and moved to Tennessee, and I like the laws and policies of Tennessee greater than I like the ones in Illinois. That's why what goes on in the rest of the world doesn't bother me. It makes no sense to bother me. Now I can have an opinion about it, but like I said, I'm not gonna lose any sleep and get all riled up about the things that go on everywhere in the United States. Cause I don't live everywhere in the United States. I live in Tennessee, so I'm Tennessee first more than I'm America first. If that makes sense.
Well, Nikki, I just got to say that's just incredibly small-minded of you to play that with a translation. Who knows? Do you understand Somali? Do you understand Somali? How the fuck do we know what she was saying? There's no clue what she was saying.
So everything translated wrong too. Okay, well then don't come to me with those damn Mexicans talking about translate for them because I don't want to hear it. Translate wrong. You can't believe the translations. It don't matter. You asked me to play the video. I played the video.
Well, and I'm glad you did because it's total bullshit.
Her actions
English
prove it.
saying that.
Her actions prove it. You can kiss up to her ass all you want. I don't give a damn about her ass. None of that shit. None of they big head ass, shithole ass people that's robbing America blind. That's what I do not care about. Now I was trying to be nice about it. I don't give two shits about Ilhan. They don't give a damn about black people. And if you don't care about black people, and if you ain't in the and I'm talking about FBAs, and for all of you who do not know, foundational black Americans, if you don't care nothing about that, then I do not care. Don't come asking for us to be on the front line of y'all bullshit trying to get us shot dead every time y'all got some righteous cause. Oh my God, where's the blacks? Now you got the Somalians that don't never speak to us, keep their stores locked, and they ass didn't give a damn about us when they was giving all that damn fraud. They didn't give us the plug on the daycares, did they? No. So I guess they learned all that shit from the Lyric Center. So
just let me know when you fall off your high horse.
No, whatever.
Well, so you're going to play a video.
Fuck Ilhan, fuck all they ass who robbing us blind and don't give two shits about us. And you should be America first too. This is your country, and I don't understand any white man that just roll over and lay down and let these motherfuckers do whatever the hell they want to do. I don't.
So you're going to play a video.
I played the video you asked. That bitch don't care about you.
Can I finish my saying?
No, we going to the next subject.
Yeah. Yes, well, that's total bullshit, Nikki.
If you're going to be American,
find her saying that in English sometime, and I'll believe it, unless it's AI.
Why would she say that in English? She's not talking to us. She's talking to Somalians. Why would she be saying it in English?
Who knows how that's translated, Nikki? Come on.
Okay.
It's total bullshit.
Minnesota got a lot going on.
She would never say that.
She would never say that, Nikki.
Because she's a fucking politician.
She ain't shit. That's why she not shit. Because she's a fucking politician. That's the whole point. She don't care about you. They do not care. They do not care.
Sorry.
Period. None of them. They don't care. That's what we got to realize. Ain't nobody coming to save us at all.
Nikki, use your common sense.
What you say?
Yes. Use your common sense.
Well, let's use it on here too.
Whoa! Holy shit! Oh my God! Oh!
They chose to, they killed the wrong guy, right? Because this is like the perfect guy. Alex Pretti is the guy you would want to date your daughter. The guy you would want your son to grow up to be a decent human being who was serving humanity, serving sick veterans, who is, there is nothing that has been said about that man that isn't wonderful. And so they can't malign him. They can't malign him because we have the videos.
Flashback. I don't want peace. I want problems, always.
This is a moment the filmed on January 3rd, showing a man who appears to be Alex interacting with federal immigration agents 11 days before Border Patrol shot and killed him. Our footage was analyzed by the BBC, whose facial recognition technology confirmed his identity to a 97% degree of accuracy. On the morning of January 13th, our team received a tip that federal agents were blocking a street at the corner of East 36 and Park Avenue in Minneapolis. We arrived around 10:50 a.m. We saw observers shouting at the agents as they walked back to their vehicles. When they started driving away, the man kicked their taillight and got out of the...
Wait a minute! Who are you?
You muted, Miss Nikki.
I said popcorn style. Y'all can go. Whoever want to go first.
I'm slightly conflated on all of this because when I first saw the first video, I was like, okay, there's 6 ICE agents on this dude. How did this with them? I counted 6. Maybe it's more. Maybe it's 8. Maybe whatever. But there's 6 ICE agents here. At least 6 ICE agents, and out of nowhere, some gunfire starts sounding off. Right, people started shooting. So at that point, I was like, just like Renee Nicole Good. At that point, I was like, okay, the ICE did too much. But then I watched a bunch of different people's analysis, and this is people that are in law enforcement. These are ICE agents. These are attorneys. I've watched their analysis on it, and they broke it down from a standpoint of being in the situation versus being able to have hindsight on it. And I'm at a point where I see both sides. I see where being in the situation, tensions are high. You're getting spit at. You're getting, according to this video, you're getting your tail lights kicked. People impending on your investigations. You're probably irritated with all of the whistles that these stupid Americans keep blowing in your ear. And impending, if you ask me, that's impeding on investigation. Because if you got these whistles in your ear and you're trying to communicate, that kind of interferes with communication. But whatever, we'll ignore that. You got people blocking your cars. You can't you can't pursue the person that you're there for because Americans are stopping you from it. Tensions are high, is what I'm getting at. If you're an agent, you're arresting this person, you hear that that person has a gun, tensions are high. You see the gun, tensions are high. You hear gunshot, okay, I have to respond. The way I just explained that just now took like 10 seconds. You have less than that to react in that situation. You got 1 to 3 seconds to react. So I'm more so on the side of I don't know. I can see both sides on it. This is one of the situations where I can see this guy, according to the videos, is a professional agitator, just like Renee Nicole Good was. At the same time, he was on his knees, 6 ICE agents on him. You got to think of, I'm thinking of it like if I'm sitting like this and you know I got a gun on me, you see my arm doing like this. Hold on. You see my arm doing like this. You know my gun is on this side of my body. Do you wait for me to pull my gun and shoot at you? So I think ultimately I'm thinking like that man, just like Renee Nicole Good, he would be alive if he was on the sidewalk and not interfering with an ICE investigation.
And those are your two sides. So most civilians, I mean, like you said, you heard the people that say, you know, they lean on the side of law enforcement. This is not a good example. It's not. When you compare this one to Renee fucked around and found out. He fucked around and found out a totally different way. You fucked around and found out that you can die by the hands of idiots. You know, and that's pretty much all it boiled down to. They shot a man in the back on his knees. That's no different than the video of the cop that tried to pull a gun out of a guy's waistband and shot him in the leg with his own gun. That's a fucking mistake by a cop. Period. Guy didn't die, but in this situation, this guy died, and I mean he shouldn't be dead. Just that simple. Now he shouldn't have been out there. I agree with that. But at the point of them trying to arrest him or whatever, he should have made it to the car alive and just been arrested. But that's not what happened. And with that being said, they're wrong. Now, whoever I think they got two. They said they got two officers that fired weapons, and I guess they finished the investigation and determined whether or not both shot him or one shot him. I think they're gonna be held accountable because there's no reason they should have fired their weapons, and that's just. I don't care what Officer Tatum or anybody in law enforcement says. I get what you're trying to do. You're trying to say tensions are high, and when you're not in that situation and you see it, it's no excuse because, as they say, you are trained. You supposed to be trained, so you got to have more reserve than that. A guy on his knees with his hands pretty much in the hands of officers, and he still gets shot in the back. Nah, that ain't gonna. It's not gonna fly for me. If I'm on the jury, I'm on the side of the guy, even though I still feel he should have had his ass somewhere at home. But people have the right to do stupid shit. That's legal. He was doing nothing necessarily outside of impeding an investigation or whatever, and that's what he should have been charged with. He should have been arrested and charged with impeding the investigation, and that's not what happened.
Tim?
Yeah. Scony, I appreciate all that, but you know, I'm a little surprised you didn't say who knows. Like, we don't know if that's a real video. Who knows? You know, it's like I can't tell what's up from down in that video. But the truth is, ICE is up there. They're not well trained. They're brutalizing the civilians, and the civilians are standing up, and that shit happens. And it was obviously he was murdered. I mean, they took his gun before he was shot, for one thing, and the videos are all clear about that. He was shot, I don't know, 10 times, a lot of, like, more than once in the back. And so I agree. It's like, and the problem is, if the federal government's going to come into your town and start brutalizing the citizenship to try and get illegals out, which is fine. You know, I don't like that term, illegals, but if you got criminals, but they're not just doing that. They're going in schools. They're going after all kinds of people. They're stopping people that aren't white for any reason and arresting them. And if you look, there's a lot of police officers that have been stopped off duty. And so the police up there are like beside themselves because they're trying to figure out how to support their citizenship from this rogue ICE community up there that's charged with getting as many illegal aliens out of town, but they're just trampling all over any law. They're breaking into people's houses without legal warrants. And so this guy, and I think Spaces said, you know, well, he kicked the taillight out, and he sure did, but that was a week earlier. They didn't know
Separate incident.
They didn't know that. It was a whole separate incident. And I think the problem, yes, Spaces, it was a week earlier when he kicked the taillight. He was trying to help a woman up that they had pushed down, and he got murdered. And so here's one of my other issues, and I'll finish real quick because I think you guys all know how I stand on this shit. But right away, all the government officials said he was a domestic terrorist. He was coming loaded, looking for trouble.
Not all of them.
Well,
only two of them.
Well,
and they've been removed.
It was more than two of them, Nikki.
Well, the two main ones that needed to be sent up out of there. I'm just saying.
So why in the heck would somebody who I'm, So I think Trump said it too. He said it too. And then he realized after the video's out, and they did too. It's like, man, this is a bad shoot, and we got to start backing up on this. But their initial reaction is to lie, to say that he came charging after the police with a loaded weapon, la-di-da-di-da. It's like, so that's my biggest problem. And it's a shame what's going on up there.
Well, I do agree that the administration messaging is all off on that. Like, they should not have just came out saying that without an investigation. Because that's the same thing the left do. So I don't do that, because that makes everything, even if it was so-called justified. Now I'm gonna put a pin in that right there. Even if it was so-called justified, even you muddied the waters when you come out and say he was brandishing a gun, like he had it out. Now there is a video. And also the cop that took the gun, because there is a video of another angle where it appeared that he was looking for his gun, like he was reaching. I'm not exactly sure if that's when the first shot. Some people saying that one of the gun went off on accident, and then they
watch
shot.
out for some people saying and for AI bullshit.
Okay, like I said, when I'm saying some people, I'm saying the media, like on the news, all the different news channels. Different ones, they're not all saying the same thing, of course, because they all got their own little spin that they want to put on it. I feel like the cop that took the gun, for some reason, he just walked away and ran off. I don't understand why he didn't let them know that he had the gun. Because when I'm watching the video, they doing all this, they wrestling with him, they trying to get the gun. He got the gun. Now, for me, I don't understand why he say, I got the gun clear, or whatever the case may be. It feel like, I don't know if that's a procedure, just feel like it should be for him to have made everybody aware that that man did not have a gun. Now he could have had another one, he didn't. I'm just saying, if we talking about spaces pointed in the moment, the first shot, another shot, I'm like, I'm not sure. But when I get to hearing 5, 6, 7 other shots, now I'm trying to figure out why it was an overkill. I'm definitely gonna say that. I don't understand why I heard 10 gunshots, or however many it was. It was a lot. He should not have been out there, and he was not peacefully protesting. He is an agitator, a professional agitator, and him helping that woman is just the first clip of that whole interact. That's just a portion that they cut off, because before that, the reason that the woman got pushed to the ground is because they were initially running up on the trucks and stuff and doing all of that. That's when ICE got out, did whatever they do, get the people. So you telling me, Tim, that it's okay? Because those people are not peaceful protesters. Are you telling me that all of that, you saying they brandishing American citizens like they just terrorizing everybody? But it looks like to me that the citizens are terrorizing them. So and then the citizens, hold on, and the citizens are expecting nothing to happen to them. They expect that they could impede law enforcement, that they in spaces when you're talking about with a whistle, that whistle for me is impeding, because if I'm out here trying to creep up on a pedo and you blowing a damn whistle, you giving him time to run out the back door. You're warning criminals that I'm trying to get that we hear. So that is impeding an investigation. You blocking the street. You cannot do that. People, like I said, people got work. Regular citizens don't have nothing to do with this. Those people don't care nothing about their narratives. And it's only one type of people. The people that they talking about, the reason they there, ain't nobody out there but mainly white liberal women. Ain't nobody else out there but them, putting themselves on the front line over some people that literally do not care about them. They call y'all racist all day, every day. They hate y'all. Y'all put yourself on the front line, and then you see videos, like I said before, where are the blacks doing what we do? Chilling. Like, why is it that? So I'm glad that the tensions calm. I'm glad that that one guy Gone. He need to go. He is a little inflammatory. Trump has admitted that. I'm glad Home is there. I like him. He's more of a grandfather calm in spirit. But my main thing is the media. I'm going to always go back to the propaganda. So I feel like a lot of these people are emboldened, first of all, from lack of consequences from the stuff they doing. But you got leaders telling these people to go out there and get in the street and fight and do this while they sitting in their mansions. Ain't have to worry about nothing. And then you got smooth brain people that just run out there like robots and just go do whatever they say. It's just like you can't listen to these narratives. Like for me, Tim, I would cry and I would beg you not to. If that ever was to come here, I would beg you not to go, because I feel like you would, just because the news said this is what we're going to do. I don't want you to do that. I want you to fight in other kind of ways. I'm not saying don't fight. I'm just saying that is not peaceful protesting. And it's the same place, and they did the same thing with BLM. Those people in that state or city, wherever, they are brainwashed for the most part. That whole state, obviously. Because we talking about BLM, they tore up the city. The cops not helping. We talking about this. That's not peaceful. It's signs that you drew at home. And you go out there. Yeah, scream, cuss, do whatever. But you think you can run up on a cop? All black people know you can't do that. Why would you run to trouble? Why would you run up on a cop? And yes, have your gun. Now, I'm for the Second Amendment, but I do believe in gun laws. I don't really like guns, but I like them around. But why would you take it to a protest? So that makes me think, because of that encounter previously, you didn't have a gun. And his friends and family say, because they've been interviewed to him, all his friends and family say he never took his gun around. But this particular time,
he had the gun the last time.
Huh?
He had the gun on him the last time that when he kicked
the first time. It had a video of him with the gun.
So why I don't, and I mean, if people they can carry their guns. I'm not arguing that. I get all of that. It's your right. But I'm just saying, for me, why is there a gun at a protest?
Here's the conundrum, right? No, here's my conundrum.
And he should not be dead. You're right, Scony. I will say he should not be dead unless he was, but it's hard to say. Like I say, the video show he was reaching, there was a lot going on, but it was overkill. And once the overkill came, and who knows, what if they did, back to Tim's point, what if they did recognize him? Because he followed them all the time and all day. That he was one of them professionals. So I could even go, if we do on both sides, what if those agents was already irritated with him from seeing him previously or having previous encounters with him? So all those things could be true. But what we do know, and I think we can agree on, that was an overkill. I don't know if Spaces agree with that.
It's tough to say.
I think it was over. So you said 10 shots. If we talking about a cop, we just shooting. Even if you're trying to disarm somebody, or if they being violent and you shoot them and they down, or it take you 2 times. Why 10? Why so many shots?
We have to look at this from oh my goodness. We have to look at this from the lens of, so when it comes time to make ICE or law enforcement look bad, people say they need to be trained different. They need to be trained this way and that way, right? So in this situation, they responded based upon how they're trained. Respond to lethal force with lethol force. Shoot to kill.
There was no.
That's just not right, Spaces.
But no.
Lethal force.
Stop. Because I was listening. Go back and watch the video in sequence. The whole situation from the time the shot was fired and they found out that there was a gun to the time that the ICE responded with fire. This whole is like 5-6 seconds. How much training is gonna to justify? Okay. Let me give the disclaimer. ICE is always wrong. The police are always wrong. No matter whatever situation they do, whenever
Not
it's fire
true.
with fire, they're always wrong. That no, in this situation, they knew a gun was involved. They couldn't, with all of these officers on him. I'm sorry, on him. They couldn't dictate where the gun was. They heard gunfire and they responded to where the gunfire was.
Spaces. It's just nothing you're saying is right. The police are all against ICE up there. ICE is causing them so many problems that the local police, the 500 police officers up there, and the police chiefs, they're like, please start following some laws, because ICE is not following any laws, and nobody's trained to rush up on a woman and push her down.
They didn't rush up on her, Tim. She rushed up on them.
Well,
that was interfering with an ICE investigation.
I'm
so
sorry.
are you saying that the citizens? Are you saying that the citizens are behaving like angels?
What I'm saying is,
no, I'm just asking. Do you believe that those citizens?
I think they're standing up for their rights, and you don't think that we have
rights. That? How do you do that?
ICE comes in, if ICE comes in, they start pulling people from cars because they're brown. They break into houses because they have no warrant, but they have this phony warrant. You know, people start standing up, and I wish that was more. You know, you're saying no, they should just stay home.
Why would I go
let
die?
ICE do what
Why
they're
would
doing.
I go
Nikki,
die? Why would I go die trying to fight the police in the street when there are other ways to get what you want, and there's legal ways to get what you want? Why would I? That's not real. Why y'all don't care this much with when the cops do this to Americans? Why when we get locked up? Why when we get locked up for crimes? It ain't no outrage. It ain't no protest. Like, I don't understand that.
I might have been talking over you. I'm sorry, but I get upset when the government tramples on people, and that's what's happening up there.
People put themselves in the way of getting trampled on when impeding.
That's what I'm asking. Like, why are you acting like these people?
Because they're standing up for their rights, and maybe we shouldn't have any rights.
So then you know what? If that's how you want to stand up for your rights, then you got to deal with the consequences. So are you telling me that these people are putting their life, they willing to put their life on the line for some illegal criminals?
Nikki, the consequences shouldn't be getting shot. That's not a consequence.
You can't run your car. You cannot run into an ICE officer and expect not to get shot.
She didn't hit him.
Run over a car, a man.
That's not true. That's not true.
She definitely hit him.
She definitely hit him. There's a video of him.
He shot her in the head, Nikki. He shot her in the head from the side, and he was fine.
Well, actually, after being
I'm sorry. I'll shut up. But
after being hit, he shot at the car.
Through the front and then twice through the side, and shot her right in the head, which killed her from the side of the car.
You hit me with a fucking car.
I'm glad you said that.
He had no business being in front of that car in the first place.
And who said she had no business being in front of the street? Once I tell you to get out of the car, you have no business leaving, first of all, because she was ordered to get out of the car. She was blocking the street. Now, I don't want to be put in a position to make it seem like I'm victim blaming because the lady lost her life.
Well, yeah,
and that is sad. No, I'm saying people need to quit. Look, the same with Pookie down the street. I'm going to give the same heat to Karen. You cannot put yourself in situations and not expect consequences. No, you cannot charge a 4,000-pound missile at me. A car is a deadly weapon at that point. And yes, she absolutely did hit him. If you need me to pull that video, I'll pull that video. She absolutely did hit him.
So Tim, back to me
you
living
can't
in
act
Tennessee.
Like these people not putting they doing wrong, like they not out there being violent, raging animals.
The two shootings are totally different. Like I said, she caused her own death by not complying, just like everybody else that doesn't comply in the United States with law enforcement. Now, in the case with this guy, Pretti or whatever his name is, he was already halfway in custody. He was in their hands. His firearm was behind his back, visible to a cop, and they like you said, they grabbed it. There was no threat. There is no threat. They can try to make it how they want to make it. There is no threat. The guy's gonna be prosecuted for it. But in the case with the young lady, a cop can be in front of your car. There's no, where's the law that says a cop can't be in front of a subject's car?
So well, if you read their training, you should never put yourself in that spot. That's the training. You don't do that. You try and de-escalate. They tried to escalate, and he could have just taken one step aside. Her wheels were trying to, Scony, her wheels were definitely pointed, trying to get around him. And if she hit him, and maybe he did, it wasn't some death
She
blow
wasn't
like
even
Trump
supposed
said.
to be trying
She's
to
lucky
leave
to be alive.
Yeah, see, so
He shot her through the front windshield and then shot her twice through the side windshield.
But the thing is, she was not
you just
supposed to be
said-
trying to leave. Once you
everything you
have a
just said
lawful
is true.
order to get out of
Yeah.
your car,
That's right. If
you're not supposed to
disobey
leave.
the police, you get shot in the head. That's fine.
No,
Well, no, you disobey the
that's what I'm
police, so
saying,
there
that's
are
fine.
consequences, and they will snatch your ass up and put you in the car. But you're not gonna be in a car, and if you just take off, it happens all the time. Well, people, I just saw it happen up at the gas station. The cop pulled up on the car at the gas station. This person, for whatever reason, I'm sure it wasn't good. He must got something in there. Decides to take off. The cop hadn't even got out of the car, but he had his lights on him. Once you see those lights, you know you're not supposed to take off. Guess what happened? The cop chased him down the street and called other cops to find him and meet him in the neighborhood. Those people not finna get treated no different than the people in the hood and people, regular, everyday citizens that know how to deal and live in the city and know how to live in this world and not deal with cops, not get shot and all this stuff. I done been pulled over. But I'm gonna comply. First of all, if the cops say do this, I'm not gonna go to court on the street. I'm going to court at court. Once they get you, your fight goes to the justice system. It don't go on the street. You can't have court on the street. But you definitely, if you get a lawful order to get out of the car, which she had been following them all day, doing all this impeding. No, you can't. You just can't do that. Like, all of it is sad, and I'm mad because it's people like you, the media, these government officials are telling to stand up for your rights, get out there and fight, and then they smooth brain ass go right out there and do it.
All right, Nikki, I'm sorry. Let me say one more quick thing, and I know I've been dominating, so I'm sorry, but
you good.
But ICE up there is not following the law. ICE is doing so many things that are illegal, and you're trying to say that people should just stay at home.
Can you clarify when you keep saying they doing illegal stuff?
So they stop people in their cars, ask for their papers. You
probable cause.
You don't have to show. There's no
probable cause.
There's no problem because you're brown. Because you.
How you know that's why? How you know? How do y'all know that?
That's just not legal.
How
Nikki,
do y'all? You're only
saying
that is because the news said that. How do you know they didn't have a warrant? They don't know the plates. They don't know who they looking for. They don't know what kind of car they drive. How do you know that?
You believe that? That's fine.
You can Google it.
And then if you
believe,
then you can believe anything that MSDNC tell you.
And I can believe you're President Trump in disguise. I mean, you're living in an alternate universe, and that's
no, I'm not. I'm living in reality, and y'all live in fairy tale land. That's the problem.
Nikki,
y'all living in fairy tale land.
Nikki, unless you don't believe the police up there because they're all liberal assholes, then listen to the police. Listen to the police officers. Listen to the captains of the different police up in Minnesota and different towns in Minneapolis, in St. Paul, in the suburbs. Listen to them saying how ICE is breaking the law. And they don't believe police officers, Nikki, but that's what the police up there are saying, that ICE is running rampant over the laws and they are doing many illegal things.
The police ain't even doing nothing because the governor told them not to do nothing. The police
up there are all corrupt.
All of them liberal. Yeah, they in on the government. The government is corrupt. The government corrupt. They all getting investigated for fraud.
Corrupt. All right.
Everybody got their hands.
You're anti-police, and that's fine.
Who? I didn't say they wasn't bullies.
Liberals are anti-police.
Who anti-police?
Liberals.
Well, I'm trying to tell Nikki that every police,
anti-ICE.
Find some police up there, Spaces. Find some police up there that support what ICE is doing. Find some clip on police up there that's
live. ICE has the authority to pull people over. We can Google it right now if you want me to show you. They have the right to pull people over from the probable cause, just like local police enforcement. They have the right to do that.
Spaces, let me say just one quick thing and I'll shut up. find me some clip of police captains, any police in Minnesota that support what ICE is doing.
Minnesota is a liberal city. And if it was a cop out there that don't believe that, you think he finna put his face on camera so them crazies could come after him? All of them following the orders of their governor. As soon as he, so tell me this, tell me why as soon as he had that conversation with Trump, he deployed the police, he released the police to do what they gonna do. When them maniacs went up to that hotel and tried to break into it, the police actually came out and did their job, and it was done and over with, and wasn't no riots because they were released. I don't even know, and even as a liberal, I don't even know how you sitting here standing 10 toes down with dummy walls, because he's a dodo brain. Like, I don't even know how you taking up that man. That man won't put tampons in the boys' bathroom. So no, he put tampons in the boys' bathroom.
Wow, did we get off subject there?
I know, but that's what I think. That's tampon Tim.
I didn't know you were gonna show this. I typed in Google. Does ICE have the right to pull someone over? Yes. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents have the authority to pull over vehicles, but they are generally required to have reasonable suspicion that an occupant is violating immigration laws, not just for traffic violations. They cannot stop vehicles based on racial or ethnic appearance. So explain to me, how is this different from local law enforcement?
They can't pull them over for traffic violations. That's different. And they're pulling them over because they look Mexican. They're pulling them over because they look Somali. And that's totally illegal.
So you in their brain now.
You just read it.
You in their brain.
So
you know that's why
no. Tim's right. But Tim's playing semantics. Because here's the thing. If I have a warrant for a black man, I'm looking for black men.
Stop it. No, that's not right. They don't go off of solely off of physical attributes. They go off of full-on pictures. They go off of body description. They go off of what the person looks like.
But that person looks like a what? But what is that? But what does the Somali person look like? A Somali.
A light bulb head.
So
right, because they don't look black.
So Tim's correct. But how can I look for a white man in a black neighborhood pulling over black cars? Cars with black people driving them. It makes no sense, right?
No, but oh my goodness.
I'm just saying. I'm saying that's Tim's argument. That's Tim's argument.
ICE is always wrong. You know, police are always wrong
because they can't be pulling over Somalian people looking for Somalians.
That they pull somebody over. They just dive into the neighborhood. They just dive into hotels. They just dive into this in these communities with completely blind. They don't know who it is that they're diving for. They don't have no paperwork that the American people broke into a ICE car into and got the paperwork for that specified the people that they were looking for. We don't have video evidence of that. They just, oh, you look Somali, you look Jamaican, you look Haitian, you look black. And that's the only reason why we're pulling you over. Even though American people are interfering with the investigations. You haven't validated that yet. What's his guy name? Alex Pretti. He was an American citizen. Why was he in the streets interfering with an ICE investigation? Why was Renee Nicole Good blocking video evidence, blocking ICE vehicles from pursuing the person that they have full on physical description, height, weight, skin color, name, of pursuing this particular one individual or handful of individuals? Why was Renee Nicole Good interfering? Nobody on the side of clearly abolish ICE can explain that. Why is an American citizen interfering with ICE investigation of pursuing an illegal person that's not supposed to be here?
I'll tell you why. Because ICE is up there trampling on everybody's rights. And they are not just pursuing illegal pedophiles. They're pursuing real Americans. And they're arresting them. Yeah, so Spaces, that's why. Because if you care about your country, you're going to stand up for the rights of your country. And you think you just ought to stay at home and let ICE do whatever the fuck they want, but that's bullshit.
We want to know what rights are being trampled on.
Here's the rights that are being trampled on. You see any of the videos? I mean, they are busting down doors of American citizens and taking them out in their underwear. Nikki, play that if you want, but there's a lot of other videos that show what I'm saying.
What rights? Like, name them.
No, because you
the right to your home, the right there's
you say
ever since Trump became president again, women have lost the rights to govern their bodies.
Car, they're pulling people over because they're wrong, and they're making them pull papers, and then they bust their windows if they don't get out. I mean, that's fine. You think ICE is acting throughout all this? It's just total bullshit. They're up there in huge numbers. And if you think that's true, then find out some police officers in Minnesota that support what ICE is doing. And what Nikki's saying is all the police in Minnesota are bullshit liberals. That's just not true. ICE is up there ramrodding the federal government into a city, and it has nothing really to do with immigration. It has to do with them putting their power on a liberal city.
Tim, if
that's because the liberal cities not cooperating. That's the only cities that this happening in. ICE is all over this country, and them cities are the only ones that all this chaos happening in. Because guess what? The other state officials and cops are helping getting the criminals out the jails, and ain't nobody doing all this. That's why it's so much chaos in there.
This
you know that's true.
So if the federal government comes to your town and they trample on your rights, and
rights?
The right to be safe in your home. How's that for a right?
What does that mean?
How's that for a right?
Let me.
Is that not a right?
If I'm doing wrong, no, they coming up in my house and they getting me. They knocking on the door.
You forfeit your rights when you commit illegal activities. That's a fact.
Videos of them busting down American citizens' doors, taking them out in their underwear, and then letting them go 8 hours later and saying, we're sorry, we made a mistake. You know, it's just bullshit. They're going after anybody they can get their hands on, and they're wrong.
I will say that out of all
and the citizens are standing up, and you guys think that's wrong.
I'm not going to say ain't no
mistakes. We ought to just stay at home and let them do whatever the fuck they want to do.
I'm not going to say ain't no mistakes was made, but what I will say is out of the hundreds of thousands of the criminal illegals that they have deported, it was only like 70 cases of those accidentally getting. So it's not like a big whole issue. And like I said before, the cops, once you break the law, the cops definitely do come to your house. The cops definitely will kick your door in. I know a few people who doors and got kicked in because they was doing wrong or they was looking for them. So yeah, it's all kind of reasons the cops do that. Y'all just don't know it because that's not y'all world.
Federal government's running ramshot over a liberal city because Trump wants them to suck his dick.
You just giving me talking points.
Whoa, Tim.
What do you say? What do you say?
You're gonna have to cut it out, Nikki. I'm sorry.
What you say?
You don't have to. That's a clip.
What did he say?
The thing is, what
he done did
on them because it's a liberal city and he wants them to bow to his honor.
Y'all
or
should
suck his dick, whichever.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, but the whether you like it or not, you don't even. So this is how you know that the federal government is the supreme authority, because you can pay for your house for 30 years. And you still don't own it because you still pay property taxes. And if you don't pay your property taxes, the government comes and potentially forfeits and seizes your property. And seizes your property. You
federal
get my
government
point.
doesn't make
At the end of the day, if you're impeding upon a federal investigation, you forfeit your rights even as an American citizen. So you can talk about how you have your right to be peaceful and safe in your house, but if you're harboring an illegal immigrant, you forfeit your rights.
What if you're not?
What if
you're not? And they still break your door down.
But how do you know that? Because the news not telling us everything. And that's the only reason I'm saying that. The only reason I'm saying that, Tim, is because we know for a fact that the media is not giving us whole stories. Period, point blank. Like, we know that. So why, with that in the back of our mind, and we know this, we have to go all the way deeper. Like, they know people not finna go dig for this information. They know people not finna go find the video of Nancy Pelosi saying January 6th was her fault. No, they gonna keep saying that Trump did that when she didn't already admitted it was her fault and she was the cause. But they know ain't nobody finna go find that. Ain't nobody gonna go look at that. They're never giving the whole story. So yeah, I'll see a video of a cop kicking somebody in, but I don't know why they kicking them in. I don't know how they got there. All I know is I see the rap sheets of all these people and they do some heinous crimes. Them people ain't committing crimes. I don't want them in my neighborhood. Not the crimes, Nikki, like they crimes ain't they don't even do regular American.
Goes back to what Sconey said.
They doing some heinous stuff.
It goes back to what Sconey says. You can't tell. I mean, maybe it's bullshit, maybe it's AI, maybe it's lies, whatever. But I'll tell you this. The law enforcement in Minnesota is against ICE. They're saying they're not using professional training. You look at all the videos, look at anything you can find on ICE, and then tell me that's how people are trained. And you're just saying, believe you, that's just bullshit. That's all not real. And people shouldn't stand up against the federal government coming to your town and overrunning.
I'm saying they're going after illegal criminals that have great murdered, did all these things, snatched kids up out the window, missing, black, white, and different. They don't care. I'm saying that I don't know what's on their paper that they're looking for. And y'all can't say that either. Y'all can't say, like the one video of the man asking the one protester lady, I'm literally trying to go get a child pedo, and you blowing whistles. And he did not, and he was Mexican. Most of the ICE is Mexican. They know what they know what they ran from. They don't want to deal with them people. They want them out too. And it absolutely is not fair. I'm not saying ICE doing everything right, because I ain't read their training manual. But what I do know is I'm talking about the media and these government officials hyping everybody up to go out here and be crash dummies.
So Tim, would you agree? Is this fact or is this my opinion that Obama deported more people than Trump?
It's fact, but the problem with that fact is,
hold on.
All right, I'm going to say he let them in too, though.
I'm gonna build
the people he deported were at the border.
Okay, so we're gonna build this up.
No, he did the same
and
thing.
I'm not trying to throw Obama under the bus with this either. This is just a situation of where, when people state these facts, like Obama deported more people, and then the argument will become, well, he did it in a humane way because he wasn't snatching people out of cars, et cetera, right? So when people say that, it's like the thought process is that Obama told ICE to be nice, and Trump is telling ICE privately, don't be nice. But I'll offer this. No one gave resistance to ICE when Obama was doing all these deportations versus people outside of the White House telling people to defend, block ICE, fight ICE. That's the difference. Would you agree?
Well, I wouldn't agree, because here's the difference, Sconey. Here's the difference. Here's the difference.
I want to hear.
Obama did deport a whole lot more people, but it's because he let so many people in at the border. All those people, not all of them, but the vast majority were deported right from the border. It was like a turnaround situation. And it's what Trump always harps on. It's what everybody on that right side says is, we let them all in. And it's true. And Obama deported them, but he wasn't deporting them from Minneapolis and Chicago.
Obama was doing
3,000. Hey, Nikki, I'm talking.
It was the same
thing.
Have
3,000 ICE troops anywhere. They were doing it at the border. It was border control, and it was a lot. And it's because, and I'll give
you talking about them cages he built.
But it's because they let them in. And then, but if you look at the facts, it wasn't he was deporting people from Chicago or New York or LA. He was deporting them from the border. And it was a shit ton of people. And it's because he was letting a shit ton of people in, and that wasn't right. But nobody at that time let ICE run ram shot over the Constitution like Trump is.
That's
not only let him, but ordering him to.
The thing is, Tim, and you just gonna skip over everything Sconey said. The difference is the way the media covered it or didn't cover it. They didn't give as much attention to it, and he did not have resistance, and he had leaders of those states cooperating, so it did not create chaos. These people only doing this to create chaos to make people like you stay mad at Trump. That's literally why all this happened. That's why all this happened. But this was a good conversation, and it was which was that somebody finna say something?
Nah, I'm gonna look into what Tim said.
Oh, well,
thank you.
When
I'm gonna shut up because I talked way too much already.
When you commit a crime, you forfeit your rights, and there hasn't been a single that I've seen. Maybe send me a link, DM me, whatever. There hasn't been a single U.S. citizen right now to say I was detained, my rights have been forfeited for something that I did not do.
Wow. I'll send you a shit ton of them.
If I was, and then
we don't want to hear nothing from no lying crazy libs.
That's what I'm saying. If you're going to do that, then also send context with it, because anybody can come up on the internet and say, I did this, ICE wrongfully detained me and my life was wrongfully impacted because of that. And I think of the specific situation back when ICE was out here in Chicago in a hotel.
Yeah,
was it a hotel or an apartment complex? It was an apartment complex that was raided by ICE. And then you had liberals out here talking about I shouldn't be here, I shouldn't do this. And then you get people that actually live here or live there that were actually looking at the building, live streaming the building, and say that building had already been like that. The doors were already broken, the windows had already been broken, and liberals are trying to portray it to make it look like ICE did that.
All right,
I'll give you that. What it is.
I mean,
are we going to sit here and act like every single thing that ICE does, that law enforcement does, is wrong? If you think that, then don't call police when your house gets broken into.
But Spaces, don't call ICE and law enforcement in the same sentence. It's two completely different things.
Law enforcement. That's the problem.
Law enforcement hates ICE. It's
all
complicating
other
their
law
life.
Enforcement. That is not true.
All right, so check this out.
You're right. It's not law enforcement doesn't hate ICE.
Maybe
local
ICE made a really good
local
bust.
Law enforcement. Local law enforcement.
Maybe they made a really good bust at that hotel, and maybe they do some things really right. I'm not denying that. But check this one out and check it out for the truth of it. They went into a New York courtroom with 36 people that were applying for citizenship, did everything. They were just getting ready to take their oath to become U.S. citizens, and they blocked it off and they fucking arrested them. These are people that had been waiting years to get into the United States, done everything they should, and ICE went in and stopped it. What's up with that?
Because just because you apply, we have to accept you. Okay, got it. Stop it.
Well, all right, that's fine. But I'm saying I'll shut up because maybe you're right. And I'm going to say ICE, it's not that they're wrong all the time. Maybe in Chicago, that was a good bust. I'm sure they got a lot of good busts. But what they're doing in St. Paul, Minnesota, and Minneapolis, it's not right. It's just not. And I'll shut up.
All right. Well, with that being said, we had a good show, a heavy but good show. And
no, I just, all I'm saying is, and I'll finalize with this. Stop impeding on the ICE investigations. The only reason why American citizens are dying is because they're actually impeding on ICE investigations. Get on the sidewalk, be safe, and if something's going wrong, make sure you record it and do the best you can from the sidewalk to make sure that you don't die
or get pushed
or get pepper sprayed.
Oh, they pepper spray people with phone Spaces.
If you impede upon ICE investigations, if you kick their cars, if you spit on them, if you resist arrest, if you block them from being able to go forward and pursuing the person that they're there for,
they're not security guards.
Then you get what's coming to you.
I won't say you get what's coming. See, it's all that kind of language that just makes this stuff go on and on and on and on. Like,
Bro, I'm saying, Sconey.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Just go to the sidewalk.
I know what you mean, but it's just see, that's the thing. Once that's what happens. It's like once you say what you say the way you said it, the other side gets to say that's not. They they focus on that one little part and not the whole message. When you said stay out of the way, that's the message. Stay out of the way. Like you have no right to impede because let's start here. You can get arrested. Let's start there. And the arrest, if you're not gonna willfully see Dr. Martin Luther King, they marched. He went to jail, but he never resisted. That's why he always ended up in jail. And they didn't have to have so many phones. They didn't have phones, cell phones, and cameras, as much as just a whole bunch of witnesses. The difference is they're going a little bit further. They're impeding. They're getting involved. People are touching, and that's gonna be a problem. But I'm not. I would suggest you stay at home. But if you insist on going out there, like I'm like Nikki, Tim, stay out of the way because you don't deserve to be hurt.
And I will be devastated, but I would be mad if I found out that you did something crazy. But I'm gonna still be sad as hell. So just stand on the sidewalk, get your sign, go up to the city hall, write some letters, put a bill in, change the laws if you wanted to change. What the hell? What did that say? Hate will not make us great. We don't hate each other. They trying to make us think we hate each other. We don't hate each other.
It's funny that you say that because it's American citizens that's spewing hate against ICE.
Well, so that's a good sign, right? Hate will not make us great. I think we all agree on.
I like that sign. But I guess hate is subjective because some people think of some stuff hate and some people think like some people, especially it's hard to listen to Liz because they call everything hate and everything is a victim and everything oppressed and everything is this. So then when something really happening, it's almost like the boy that cried wolf. People kind of looking like, yeah, they say that about everything. And then nobody believes you. So I would suggest to kind of stop making everything so racist or fascist or this and all these words that don't nobody care about because don't nobody be believing you. So that's what I tell black people about. That's what I tell black people about racism. Quit saying everything is racist because when racism kick your ass in the face, you're not going to see it. You're not going to even know what it is, and nobody's going to believe you.
That's why I like my sign because it's a simple message and it's hard to disagree with.
Question, Tim. How would you feel if a black person called you racist?
It would hurt me, but I think at some level I am a bit. I mean, but
why? Why you think you're racist?
Well, because I'm it's late in this conversation to get into it, but in high school, I had a lot of black friends. I don't interact with any of them anymore. I was on the basketball team. I was the only white guy on the team.
I guess I'm racist.
Now in my life, I got to search my black friends out because
I'm saying, but you saying that make you racist?
I guess I'm racist too, then, Tim. Because I grew up in high school with a whole lot of black friends, and I don't reach out to none of them either.
I don't know.
That don't make you racist, Tim.
The truth is, I don't think I'm racist. So if somebody said that to me, it hurt me.
And that's what's going on in America, because there are a lot of white people that are just like you, and they're not racist, and to be called that, it would hurt them. And some of them are what we see as these apologists. They're out here doing the most to try to prove they're not racist, and it's not helping.
And that's what's annoying to the black community. It's too much overcorrection, too many white apologists, and then they get to doing too much when they really don't even understand our community. They create these laws, they do all this stuff, they do all this fighting, and that's not even what we own. Like,
Nikki, I'm sorry,
we don't care.
I would love that conversation for another day because it's a big one. And it's a hard one.
We really sick. And I'm just telling you what's going on in the black community. We are sick of white apologists. And really the Karens, the white liberal woman are the main ones. We just cannot take it. We're tired of them trying to talk for us, thinking they know what's best for us when they know nothing, stopping them from locking up the people that's killing us, our own people, because it's racist. It's not racist. Pookie turned up the neighborhood. He got to go. So we are tired of it. But with that being said, I like to thank everybody for hanging out. This was a heavy conversation. So I just wanted to pull something up that made me smile today. And I hope it makes you guys smile as soon as I can get it playing. That made me happy and it made me smile.
Thank you, Nikki. I love those. I get down that rabbit hole and I just love them.
I know, but that's our future, y'all. I want them kids to keep that innocence, and I want us to stop ruining every damn thing for the next generation. At some point, it's got to stop. So, any last words? Any last thoughts? Short and sweet. Hey, we done finally hit our 2-hour mark, y'all. We did it.
Yeah, I think you were trying to trigger me.
Sorry,
I think maybe somebody on the playback might not see it, but this is just all spirited conversation. That everybody here, I don't know what Carlos went. I guess he might have went.
Oh, he said his phone had died, but
he's been on here for 2 hours.
Well, he said he had to go.
You don't have a charger, evidently.
But this is just spirited conversation. It's at the end of it all, it's all respect, it's all love. And I 100% appreciate Tim's point of view with everything. And everything that I said, it may sound like MAGA, it may sound like Trump or whatever. I aim to have these conversations from a standpoint of being as objective as I possibly can. In these particular conversations, specifically with Alex Pretti, just stay on the sidewalk and you'll stay alive. Just stay on the sidewalk, stay away from them. And even with Renee Nicole Good, stay out of the way. Because I don't like people dying. I don't like the idea that there is a narrative out here that ICE is attacking American, or law enforcement, federal or local, is attacking American people. I think I speak for absolute majority of people in these conversations when I say, I want these illegals out of here. Let them get the illegals out of here so we can focus on something else. That's all I got.
Spaces, thank you so much for honoring my opinion. And I'm a little sorry you had to relitigate that, but yeah, my biggest thing and my feeling being in this group is that you guys honor my opinion, even though it's so different from a whole different perspective. And I do my best to get myself in your heads, and I'm not always that good at it because I've got a 71-year-old bias, but I try, and I love the conversation.
You're 71?
Yeah.
I never would have guessed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Keep drinking water and tea. You got it.
Well, I wanted to wait. If y'all noticed, we didn't really hop on the Renee Good thing when it happened. We didn't talk about this when it happened, and then the petty. I do like to respect the dead. I wanted to give it some time. I think it's distasteful to just hop on stuff unless it's breaking, but like to just talk about it like we talking about it. Try to get as much information out, because if you notice, this stuff come out, and next thing you know, days later, weeks later, other stuff start coming out. I do want us to be a panel that can be objective, even with our different opinions. Help us remove some of the layers, some of the biases, things like that. We do have our foundation, no beliefs, but we don't want it to turn into a just concrete, this what it is. I'm not like that. I'm always open to hear thoughts, to hear a new perspective, and possibly you might be able to change my mind. And the same here. So I do appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And we'll all be together February 22nd next month in St. Louis, Missouri.
Stoney did give his thoughts.
Stoney.
He is. I'm letting him go next because I'm
I was going to say you jumped over Stoney.
No, I was just going to go because after Stoney, I'm going to end it.
Nah, I mean, I just feel like Nikki, you played that last video to trigger me. I don't know what that was about, but I still love you.
Do you say that? Oh, that's right, because you hate dogs.
Jeez. Nah, I don't hate them. That was a heartwarming video, but I feel like you trying to make me buy my daughter a dog, but it's never gonna happen. But
I'm with you, daughter.
I see, but no, I love being here. I'm glad I met you guys, because Tim he's actually my favorite person, Tim. I'm telling you, like, because we still sharp and still. You know, if you only believe what you believe, you know, you'll never know what could be. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things. So I have to hear you out, because I don't feel I'm not always right. You know, I believe
That's
what I
for sure.
believe, but I'm not always right. And the only way that I can learn is to listen. So I speak and I listen. I listen to you. I listen to Nikki. I listen to Spaces. I listen to if I'm gonna have a conversation, I have to listen. So I appreciate y'all wisdom, you know, for whatever it's worth. You know, like I said, I'm learning daily. Every episode, I get more. You know, so, and if I get more, I can give more. So I'm just here to participate and listen.
Stoney, can I acknowledge that? Because thank you very much. And here's what happens in most conversations, and I think it happens in this a fair amount, but people listen for what they want to hear, as opposed to listen for what is there.
Yeah,
and so I appreciate that, Stoney, so much.
Absolutely.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you too, Tim.
Yeah. So with that being said, just another brown girl in America trying to find some common sense in a not so common sense world. In Tim's words.
Hey, real quick. Miss Amberlin, you were missing in this conversation. I'm calling you out. You were supposed to be here. You were supposed. I hope it's not some sort of like serious situation that didn't cause you to be here. But otherwise, you were supposed to be here. I'm looking at the camera right now. You're supposed to be here.
Amber probably would have hated this conversation.
We got expectations next week, ma'am.
Yeah, but join us here. Yep. Next week we will be here. If you want to hop on this panel, reach out to us. Don't forget, Noki Podcast, Sundays, your favorite after church podcast, starting at 2:00. Reach out to him. Reach out to us. Well, I don't know if Stoney got his IG or anything. Any one of us, send us videos. Tim might not have socials. He private. But reach out to us. You want to hop on the panel, get your views, get your point across. Prove me wrong. That being said, I'm just another brown girl in America. Bye.